Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the first podcast of July. With we're happy to welcome back our friend and special guest, Dan Gutierrez, Marty Keller here in Sacramento, John Donovan down in San Diego, and Dan is at an undisclosed location. And
It's
as
top
always,
secret. It's top secret.
yeah, no whistleblowers will reveal the truth. So, Dan, what brings you by today? What's been going on? You always have something provocative to share with us.
Um, so last I don't know, last month or so, I've been focusing on I don't know what I've been focusing on. Accountability, I guess you'd call it.
Hmm.
So yesterday, I'm sitting down and I was doing some introspection kind of thing, and it dawned on me that I've been fighting, I've been resisting, um, um, I've been resisting, I've been putting up a fight to create change, and I just noticed how hard that I keep trying to work to get the change I'm looking for. And yesterday, I decided, well, a solution came to mind, and dare I say it, this word has not been a part of my vocabulary. I surrendered to it yesterday. Um, yeah, I literally just, it's like, I'm not, I can't fight. I don't want to fight this anymore. And it was just the awareness that I was fighting it. I
Yeah.
was resisting it.
Hmm.
And, what I resist persists, and all these cliches, or not cliches, but wisdom statements. Um, and when I did it, this is part of the accountability part, is when I surrendered to it, is like I'm not more powerful than this. You know, it's like 12 steps or whatever. I'm surrendering. I'm powerless over this. And so I did that. I took a deep breath, and the next statement is, what's different? Um, I'm more at peace. Um, and it's just like, wow, you know, I guess I've been waiting, I've been fighting this. It's that inner child's fear. It's my inner child's fear that if I don't figure this out, and here again, I want to state this, it doesn't make sense in the adult world. It's it's this fear of not having the answer, this fear of not measuring up, and then being powerless to have the answers has created. I can look back now, and I can see that that was my addiction. It continues to be my addictions to um, stimulants like coffee. But it's also, now that I can see the symptoms, my need to change my my emotional state. I feel uncomfortable being calm, and then when I want to amp myself up to get up and moving, mobilize myself. I was listening to somebody talk, and that they use the word mobilization. I mobilize myself. I get myself in a state of threat. That's what I do. I put myself in that state of threat where I get this adrenalized internal body state, and that feels comfortable. I feel safe when I feel adrenalized.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a reflection of the state that I grew up in. Chaos, not knowing when things are going to change. I don't know. So I got to always be on alert. I got to always be ahead of the game. There's no time to rest. And it's just like, wow. I can feel it. And coming, preparing for this, I noticed myself, it's like, okay, let's get up and get a couple cups of coffee in me so I can go do this. And I'm just sitting there watching it, and it's like, there it is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Again and again. I almost want to, I don't think this is fair to use, but it feels like I've been in denial of this. I don't think that's being compassionate to myself. This is me trying to survive as best I know how. And then having the awareness that this is not working anymore for me. That it's time I wanna quit. It's more different than when I ended my addiction, when I made the shift from using to sobriety.
Yeah.
It's different. This
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
is different. This is deeper, a lot deeper.
I would like to define this or it, and that it I struggle with is codependency, is is um, um, seeing other people's action, projecting onto them, not knowing I'm projecting as weak, and then creating a story around it, which creates separation, or projecting onto them lack of awareness. And then I build a story around it. And this is, I'm talking about my intimate relationships, my close relationships with my daughters and my partner. Um, um, because you two don't pose that intimate threat. We have an agreement on what our friendship is, and we're colleagues, and we're it's in that intimate relationship where all the old trauma tells me a story about what's happening around me, instead of just taking a breath and seeing the other person, moving towards compassion, being vulnerable, um, um, saying something that it's like, if I say I love you, or go to touch, the story is there's a price to be paid for that, or there's a contingency, a condition that goes. So I find myself in these behaviors, and that's what I see close relationships. Their purpose is to be that mirror for me. I quit drinking 35 years ago, and I've been struggling with healing the trauma ever since. 25 years ago, I started getting into accountability and being accountable for the violence I do, and the behaviors that are manifest out of the wounding, like dismissing, ignoring, or redefining somebody, raising my voice. Yeah, so it for me is this hypervigilance, suspicious nature, judgment that I find myself enmeshed in. And yeah. And to clarify surrender, it's like step 11, sought through prayer and meditation to increase my conscious contact with my higher power, seeking only the knowledge of his will in my life and the power to carry it out. And I've been like doing that, and then being the judge of how well it's working instead of being in that flow. I don't know how you relate to that, Daniel and or Marty. But that's what it is for me. Codependency, projection, suspicion at motives. Wow. So
It reminds me of that that song, "You Only Hurt the One You Love." It's like we only resist the one we love.
mm-hmm. Well, and that one I'm finding out is me.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I want to share a story just to leaven the conversation. I just spent the last week with my brothers and sister in a family reunion back in Tennessee. And so these people serve as this wonderful mirror for me.
Yep.
Particularly because we all grew up together and we shared the same parents and the same environment, and I learned a lot about myself. But in the stream of what we're talking about right now, we were sitting around chatting, which we did a lot, and I'm the oldest in the birth order, so my second brother, or my brother right after me, whose name is John, um, was saying something that was in the sarcasm tradition of our family. And while we've all grown mellower as we've gotten into our 60s and 70s, it's still there, I noticed. And he said something to me that I heard as sarcastic, and I felt my heartbeat go up, and I felt myself get defensive. And then I watched myself move from defense to offense. What can I say to out sarcasm this guy? And it's like, and then the very next thing that happened was I'm not going there. It's like, it's family of origin, and here it is right now. It's a gift to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I share that because that's the power of this work. Even as Daniel your shares, power that what I'm hearing is the power of the work is our ability to see these things in real time, to see and experience and feel. I was right back in family. I was right back on 3156 Tyler Drive, Berkeley, Michigan, and I was probably 8 or 9. And the gift of the program is like I could see it. I could see it happening. It was like almost hilarious, but it felt like a threat. I felt that I had to defend myself, and then I felt I had to counterattack, and that happened like this.
Instant.
And now, because of the practice, the instantaneous included the I'm not going there. So it was, instead of 1 2, it was 1 2 3. So that's that's one of the great gifts that I've gotten from this work, John and Dan, who've been my partners in this for years and years and years. This ability to notice these things, and then once we notice, we have a choice. So I noticed what was going on, and I could choose. And so I just made a different choice from what would have happened when I didn't notice.
Yeah.
So we share your dilemma, Daniel.
Yeah, it's it for me is it's a feeling of panic. It's a feeling of there is no safety for me, everything is an opportunity to be exposed.
Yeah.
I'm being accountable now for my behavior and how I've learned to keep my defend myself. And it's frightening to be an adult male and be driven by this fear.
Mm-hmm.
And I watched myself in the middle of it, being violent and then using emotional violence with a look, a glance, just a. But I just don't. The word I keep coming up with is I feel that I'm under threat. I'm going to be exposed at every turn. From, I don't load the dishwasher right. I don't put stuff in the recycle. And it gets compounded when I don't become accountable for how I'm feeling or notice how I'm feeling. It's that state of agitation or discomfort is where I feel safe. I don't know if I feel safe.
No.
It's just that's where that little kid lived, and that was normal for him.
Can I offer you something, Daniel?
Yeah.
For me, it's avoiding that feeling, pain of confusion, of shock, for me, it's how I would say it is, I'm doing what you asked me to do. You told me to do this. Now you're telling me it's wrong. Or nobody told me, and I get the brunt. And in my childhood, that was true. Okay, so to stay safe, I shut the feeling down, and then either use sarcasm, dismissal, defense. I've discovered that when I'm defending myself, I'm participating in my own oppression. I'm reliving my childhood instead of seeing, oh, this is childhood trauma. Nice deep breath. Being uncomfortable for a minute, and then I don't know, saying, I'm confused. That seemed judgmental. And to articulate where I'm at, and is to feel, I'm going to say, feel the vulnerability in real time, and see what happens. And then go to the tools are accountability tree. Whatever I see in the other person, I'm projecting, so I own that. I'm judgmental. I'm weak. Nice deep breath. I intend to hold myself in high regard. Or simply being in the awareness of, this is what my body feels like on adrenaline. I'm not going to die, or I have choice here. and then breathing. And even after 25 years, it comes up. The trauma that I experienced, the way I describe it, is legion, like a lot. The healing I've done is tremendous. And that mechanism is still charged with it is my responsibility to keep myself safe by avoiding going into dysfunctional behavior. And my job is to simply notice it, breathe, create an intent, or just feel the feeling and see what it's trying to tell me. So yeah, I don't know if I'm helping or confusing it or what here, Daniel and or Marty.
Well, I'd like to add just another observation to what you just said, John, because it is legion, and I'd like us to consider the possibility that this is a feature of our evolution. We just haven't evolved yet to be able to take on as a culture the automatic healing of that trauma of the earlier years of life. That we just haven't figured this out yet. And so we live in trauma across the globe, and we act it out. We have wars, we have addictions, we have health problems, we're all of us in debt. I mean, all of those things are manifestation of family of origin dysfunction, childhood trauma writ large.
Yeah.
And so part of our challenge as we seek to on an individual basis learn about ourselves and befriend our trauma,
Right.
I think it's valuable to keep in mind that we're swimming in a sea of trauma, and that part of what may be keeping our individual childhood trauma alive may be the culture. And that, that I have no power over the culture. I have no power over this this evolutionary dynamic. And so for me, where I've come to in the work is I just want to befriend all of it. I don't want to be an enemy of it. It's kind of, Dan, what I heard you start out with, noticing that you're fighting yourself. And that's like, I want to move to not fighting anything in myself,
Right.
learning to befriend even when I don't get it right, even when I get caught up by those emotions, even when I do something that in my higher mind I know I shouldn't do. It's it's your three things, John. Have you ever done anything or ever been in an argument, realize you were wrong, and then continue to argue? All that stuff.
Yeah.
To befriend that. Because what I find is that the more I'm capable of doing that, the energy that pushes into my consciousness as terror, fear, rage, anger, hypervigilance, vulnerability calms down.
Yeah.
Just calms down. And so for me, that's we have a culture. We're all products of this culture. There's an evolution of humanity going back. Our consciousness as humans is somewhere around 50,000 years old. And, relative to the life of planet Earth, which is 4 billion years, that ain't very much.
No.
So if
Yeah.
we're willing to take a look at it from that perspective, we've actually come a long way.
Well, us being in this conversation about this is this culture, because we're part of it, figuring it out, being accountable. So what we do
Exactly.
here, the three of us, or when we do our groups and we lead people in accountability or own your projections, it is, I like to say, we're affecting the planet one person at a time, sometimes 10 people at a time. And, we got, I don't know, let's say that for grins, we got 2,000 people. We got 7,998,900. Okay, that's fine. At least we're here. At least we're in this conversation, and we're part of the solution or part of the integration of this, I don't know, instinct, survival, process, this evolutionary process where we go to that higher self of ours instead of the base self of ours. And my behavior all the way up until now, there's been elements of the base behavior. Before my recovery, I was isolation, me, my gun rack, and my truck. That was my sphere of influence or sphere of concern. Now my sphere of concern through this work has grown to include more. And that's I'm adding. In the accountability process is a tool for people to begin to move towards this higher sense of self, peace, compassion, love, and I'm excited to be part of it. And I'm also like explaining the heaviness and the dauntingness of, even though I'm focused, it's still there. I see breath. It's okay. And I like what you said, befriending this, not making it an enemy anymore. Just noticing, oh, there's my petulant 8-year-old, and then attending to, not criticizing, not blaming, not punishing my petulant 8-year-old, saying, oh, I see you're having trouble right now. I see you're frustrated, or I see your nice deep breath. And there's so much in this. What we talk about in this hour is so minuscule to the big conversation that we have, and that's why we do it every other week, and for the first 2 years every week, to address this behemoth of oppression, self-oppression. And then it looks like we're being oppressed from the outside, but I'm participating in the oppression. It's like, I'm part of it. Okay, I'm going to own my part in my sphere of actionability, which is my partner, my children, my colleagues, my coworkers, my friends. Stay here, and all the other stuff is going on. I feel about it, but I have no influence. I have no actionability. And in the 12-step program, the simple term, the simple, it's not simple, but I'm going to use that word right now. The simple term is move from reactive to proactive. Put a space in between the reaction and make it a response. Just that is huge, magnificent. Just the awareness that, and I'm living most of my life in this response mode. I find myself in reaction mode. Oh, there it is again. This is my inner child who I'm going to embrace now, instead of saying, oh, you did it wrong again. You did it wrong again. What's the matter with you? I've told you 40 times how to do this and you're still not getting it right. No, okay, it's okay. It's okay. And embracing that part of me and loving that part of me, even though I would rather be good. I mean, I'd rather just get it right. No, this is I like evolutionary process. It's a maturation process, and I intend to be in the maturation process. Boom. That's mine.
And is it any different loving ourselves when we're in that that you can call it that ugly phase? Is that any different from loving our little kids when they crap their pants or they throw a tantrum or they're doing stuff we would rather not be around, but they're our kid?
Yeah.
And it's our commitment to them. It's like, so one of the things that I'm learning for myself here is patience.
Yeah.
And I learned a lot of this, John, by listening to you talk about Solomon and how you've approached your grandparenting as opposed to how you approached your parenting.
Right.
It's like, okay, so it's almost like little Marty is my version of Solomon.
Yes.
And so how can I just treat him the way that you are teaching me how to you treat Solomon?
Right.
And if I can, no, not if, as I keep that in mind, everything shifts. Everything shifts.
Yeah. So where are you at now, Daniel?
I'm in the I'm in it right now.
Ah, okay, cool. All right.
I'm just trying to be honest with myself and honest with not withhold from myself. That withholding is part of the denial of being in this state.
Okay.
I'm not supposed to be in this state. The 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 interpretation of the trauma is I should already know better,
Mm-hmm.
and the only way that I can not feel the pressure is to be in denial that I don't know, and then continue to focus on something else. Usually it's something outward, blame someone else. Um, yeah, it's just it's watching myself in it in real time and trying to stay in it.
Would you like some either guidance or assistance in that right now?
Yeah, yes, my first response was no, I know how to do this. Thank you very much.
Yes.
I'm gonna go to my room and figure it out, and I'll let you know in a while. How about that?
Okay. So you can tell you're in a some type of adrenaline fight, flight, freeze, please.
Absolutely.
Okay, nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. I'm in a adrenaline rush. I'm scared. I don't know what your word might be. I'm scared. I'm terrified. Nice deep breath. I'm terrified. Nice deep breath. And it's okay that I'm terrified. Yes, I'm terrified.
Yeah, there's that's where I'm at. It's like I'm breathing into the terror, for lack of a better
Okay.
word.
Okay. So let's breathe into it, name it as terror, and not try to fix it. Just
No, it's
yeah, go
yeah.
ahead. I'm
My
terrified.
body's bracing.
Okay, that's
It's like
good. That's where we
I'm
want.
doing
Okay.
sit-ups here. I'm on my last one on my 50, and I just can't contract it anymore.
I'm terrified. Nice deep breath.
I'm terrified.
Yeah, and it's okay. There you go. I'm going to allow myself, nice deep breath, to be terrified. I see I'm terrified.
I don't feel safe. I'm gonna go with that. That just
Okay.
yeah.
All right.
I don't feel safe.
Nice deep breath. I don't feel safe.
I don't feel
And
safe.
where you, right. And where you were, you weren't safe. You know, we're just going to go, we're just going to just own it. Just be with it, not try to change it. I don't feel safe.
I don't feel safe.
There you go. Nice deep breath. Now I'm going to take to an intent. You see if that I intend to love and nurture myself where I'm at.
I intend to love and nurture myself in the present moment here.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Nice deep breath. There it is. Nice deep breath. There you go. See, that's validating that mechanism in a child. Yeah. It's almost like you want to spit something out. And just in this space, you could be willing, think or say, how dare you treat me that way?
How dare you treat me that way?
There you go. There you go. Just deep breath. There it is. Daniel, I, I want you to know that I'll support you through this, that I'll not judge you,
Yeah.
that I see you struggling. It's okay.
I have had to give up my safety for attachment.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah. Wow. There it is.
That's the truth.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah. And as a child, that was the only recourse.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, that awareness, which you say you're in denial. Well, yeah, but that denial just simply means you don't know. So in the I'm terrified breath, oh my God, oh my God, I had to give up my safety to attach, to survive. Yes, oh my God. How insidious, how dare they? And they didn't know, but that's what happened. So
Yeah.
there's a statement from, go ahead.
I believed the statement that if I don't behave, I was going to get sold off to the circus.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. Nice deep breath.
How can you say that?
Yeah, how dare you? How dare you say that to somebody, to a child? Nice deep breath. There you go. I intend to love and nurture myself.
I would know. I still want to be angry.
Oh, good. Yeah, let's do that for a while. No, no, fuck them. Are you kidding me? Yes, let's feel that. How dare they do that to me? When Solomon has a fear or a confusion, or I nurture. I see you're afraid, or I see you're sad, or I see you're confused, or I see you're frustrated. so that he can recognize what's going on in safety, not be ostracized. And that's the abandonment, ridiculed, humiliated, chastised, totally wrong.
That's the threat of isolation
Yes.
Yeah, that's the attachment is being threatened
Yes.
in an attempt to coerce me into behavior.
That was suitable for them, so they didn't have to feel their feelings.
Right. I get that. If I stop acting the way I am, the way I'm acted, okay.
Yeah, being you.
I'm saying that from as an adult looking at the situation. I'm the trigger for my mom.
Yep.
If she can get me to stop doing what's triggering her, she feels safe.
Yep. I'm going to say one more thing. Isolation, being ostracized for a child is capital punishment. Capital punishment. I was studying some indigenous tribes, and their way of capital punishment was banishment from the village. That was because they knew they couldn't survive without everybody being there. So it's, okay. No wonder you're terrified. No, terrified is in alignment with what happened. Nice deep breath. Nice deep breath. There you go. I intend to love and nurture myself. I intend to stay with myself with no condition.
Yeah, I intend to love, or I intend to value, honor, and respect myself.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Nice deep breath.
I'm worthy.
Yes, you are.
My value is not dependent on my behavior.
No, no, it is not. There it is.
This is fucking soul murdering.
Yes. Nice deep breath. There you go.
Deep down inside, I know I was missing. I'm missing this connection with
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Mm-hmm.
With myself. I wasn't meant to be here, and life is not about suffering. I intend to be the gift that I am.
There you go. Yes.
So I've also been engaged in I've been hearing a lot about, don't let your emotions take over and run and ruin, make you behave or whatever. And I don't agree with that.
No, absolutely not.
My emotions don't, because what I'm feeling doesn't automatically mean I have to behave in a certain way.
Here's the insidious, the race culture thing and the societal dysfunction. We use the word emotion to describe behavior that is motivated through adrenaline, fight, flight, freeze, please. We call it aggressive. We call it everything but what it is, violent. We call it anger, which it's us in an adrenal state fighting for our lives, even though all that's happened is the toast is burnt, or like John, that's not recyclable. That goes in the garbage. It's like, wow. Okay. That behavior is coming from fight, flight, freeze, please, which is the absence of emotion, connection to self, emotion, connection to self. Any behavior that I'm in that isn't connecting me to me is not an emotion. It's a reaction response, fight, flight, freeze, please, adrenaline rush based on old trauma. But we live in a society that writes books about explaining this emotion, and they're not even talking about emotions. They're talking about people in an adrenaline rush. They're talking about fight, flight, freeze, please. And then we all buy into it, and then we say, well, don't get emotional. Well, in
No,
that
that's
context, it makes sense, but
right.
it's
No, yeah, I don't, I don't agree with, just because I'm feeling something does not mean that I have to have a behavior. I don't,
correct.
my feeling doesn't mean I have to change how I'm feeling. I don't have to behave based on what I'm feeling.
Okay. So right now, I'm feeling in the presence of tremendous amounts of anger, which is my experience of an injustice, because we're talking about a
Right.
societal familial injustice that gets named everything but that. And it's confusing and it's debilitating. And what you see in me is the action coming from my awareness and experience of an injustice or harm to self or others about to happen. Okay. Now, if you look at me, you wouldn't say, "Oh, he's angry." No, I want you to. This motivates me to continue to do what I do, no matter what. And it's rage, like how dare they? And it's not judgmental. It's not. It doesn't separate me from them. It connects this anger, this rage, connects me to me, and then I choose to stand in the face of and give the information with passion, with like
Right.
uh, so this what you see in me is an expression of my awareness of my ire and rage at what we do to each other, and then call it something else, and then try to fix it. Nice deep breath. Okay.
Yeah,
So,
I can feel angry without hurting myself or other people.
well, actually, yes. In fact, any emotion, including anger, connects you to you first. Then you can connect to other people.
Right.
Now, being in a reaction response, which is unhealed trauma, complex post-traumatic stress, is the absence of emotion, the absence of my rational brain in a reactive response. And it just doesn't go outward. It goes, dumbass. What's wrong with me? How come I can't? And there's this vehemence. And it's coming from adrenaline.
That anger?
that's them doing their job. safeguarding the homestead. Probably. Hold on.
Yeah, and I want to. It's stimulus, organism, response. The stimulus goes through me, my entire life, conscious, subconscious experience, and then what comes out is the reaction or the response. And what I want to do, I intend to increase or expand the capacity between the stimulus and the response. Give myself time to respond rather than react. And that's what accountability does for me, or that's where it's not a trauma response, it's a trauma reaction.
Yeah. I think we're saying the same thing. Yeah. Reactive response. Yeah.
Yeah, I intend to have I intend to be responsible. I intend to have the ability to respond.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Mm-hmm.
Or what is it I want that I don't have? Is to expand my capacity to be responsible.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I just want to thank you, Marty, and everybody that I've works with me. Man alive. Writing the agreements every week, the focus agreements every meeting, and without all that engagement, without that repetition, I don't think I'd be here right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have. I can see why that I don't like surrendering. I don't like giving up. Because I'll be sold off to the circus.
I got a statement. I got a statement about surrender if you're open to hearing it.
Yeah.
Surrender is the acquisition of the tremendous power of the universe.
Yeah, it's letting go of my will, or no,
Yeah.
letting go, not letting go. It's coming to an awareness that I can feel safe letting go of the old to experience the new.
There you go. Wow, well put. Letting go of the conditioning to experience my life as it is and be proactive, responsible, ability to respond.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
My insight on this is I'm letting little Marty no longer have to be in charge
Mm-hmm.
and turning it over to a higher power. And because that experience, Dan, as I'm here with you and feeling what you're feeling through what you're feeling is, it's that sense of our little kids just have to be in control or will die. Capital punishment, like you said, John.
Yep.
And as an adult, I know that's not true.
Right.
And so that's to me, it's how I reparent myself. It's like it's like it's like taking the lighter away from the kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you don't really need this.
Mm-hmm.
There's probably a better image, but it's like little Marty is just determined to be in control because it was all the only way to stay safe. This goes to the safety thing. The only way that little Marty can stay safe is to be in control of everything.
Mm-hmm.
And the choices that he made to be in control of everything may have worked for the first 10, 12 years, but I'm 71 years old. Like
Yeah.
those choices don't work for me. And my compassionate belief is he really doesn't want to be in control. He really doesn't. And so as I
Usually,
learn,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
it's okay. I just as I slowly but surely learn to love him, let him have his feelings. I believe he learns to trust me as his adult to let go, let go, let go, slowly but surely. And I want to emphasize the surely that
Mm-hmm.
that's the value for me of learning to trust a higher power. And it's not perfect, and I can feel myself trying to reassert that control from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
And the difference is, it's like I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. I have this practice. I have this group. I have these colleagues to fall back on when I get caught up again. And it's like I don't fear that anymore. I just I'll just go to a meeting, or if it's really acute, I'll call one of you guys, and I'll get help.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
Um, I like your analogy about the kid having the lighter. What happened for me when I termed the word surrender is the little kid gave me the lighter
Yeah.
with no coercion, no nothing.
Mm.
Here's the lighter. I don't want it anymore. And that's the relationship that I want to build with myself, is that trust.
Yeah.
And I would suggest, if you're open, Dan, that you've been doing that, and it for whatever reason it takes time, and none of us. I can't predict when a breakthrough is going to occur. All I can do is keep doing the work. but I've worked with you for a long time, and I know that I don't know how much you see this as true, but all of this energy that you give to yourself in your recovery is nothing but an act of pure love from my perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Well, on that beautiful note, we've come to the end of our hour together.
Mm-hmm.
Before we wrap up, I'm going to ask Dan and then John for any last minute thoughts or words.
Um, um, love equals attachment, unconditional attachment. Woo! Here we go again.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just terrible to live under that fear. And I don't have to. That's more than one thing.
You're welcome to a couple bites at the apple. It's all right.
I'm good.
Thanks for joining us and sharing with us and being willing to be very vulnerable today. I just love you and I appreciate that. John, last minute comments.
This process works. I want to say we are an example of it. This conversation that we're in is just in itself, without fixing anything or doing anything right or is huge. And it is my intent to continue and it is my intent to live the adventure that is my life, and free myself from the complex post-traumatic stress, family of origin dysfunction, childhood trauma, and to heal and nurture myself.
Thanks,
Okay.
John.
Yeah.
So for anybody who would like to explore what we're talking about here, the three of us facilitate different accountability practice meetings throughout the week. We invite you to join us. They're all on Zoom. And there's a Monday night and Thursday night at 6:30, Wednesday afternoon at 4, and Saturday morning at 8:30, all Pacific time. If you'd like to get the Zoom link, John's and my email address will be at the end of the podcast. Just shoot us a note and we'll be happy to send you the link and welcome you. You can come to a meeting and say nothing and just observe, or you can come and participate. We don't have any rules about that. So we just want you to feel free to check it out. So Dan, John, thank you very much
You're welcome. All right, thank you.
sharing this with the world again. And we'll do this in a couple weeks again.
You got it.
Thanks. God
Thanks,
bless.
guys.